All right, hello, Miss Lovely here. Come in. I got my drink here. Let's sit and let's chat and let's plan for the most incredible holiday experience. Now, whether you're welcoming family in and they have children, or you want to have an event at your home, call it a cookout, call it whatever, a community event, and there are going to be kids present, then this is the video that you want to watch. All right, so here are some key tips that I always encourage and things that I even implement within my company, within my Lovely Art Studio experiences. Is you want to concentrate on the five senses. So you want to think about, what are people hearing when they come into your space? What are people seeing when they come into your space? What are people smelling when they come into your space? And what are people saying, or what are you saying when you come into their space? What are people touching? So in this experience, we're talking primarily about children. So what I want to invite you to consider is the idea of invitations to create. So when kids are coming into your space, you still want to think about the five senses. What are they hearing? Is there music that is appealing to their senses? So if you have the adults in an area and the children in an area, I would encourage you to have music that is more along the lines of what their interests are. Now, if you're thinking of ways of how you can keep these children engaged, couple things to consider. You never want to have all the activities out at once. You want to create the concept of invitations to create. So now that you've set the vibe by what you can hear in the background, maybe the smells. I always like to have candles lit, or coffee brewing, something to set a peaceful, calm tone within the home. It sets everybody at ease, even kids, or sometimes I'll even spray a little bit of mint aromatherapy in the space. So you want to think about, what are they hearing? What is the smell? Now, as far as what you put out for the kids, you want to think of invitations to create and how long the children are going to be in your space and how long you want to keep them engaged. So when you think of invitations to create, you're going to set up little stations, and the stations can literally all be the same thing, but stations where the kids will be intrigued and think, oh my gosh, I want to do that. So an idea could be for a station, I have, it could be animals, it could be like sand, like something that's sensory rich, but only one thing. So if it's cars or animals or sand, you only want to have that activity out for the kids to engage in. I would say, especially if they're the ages of, like, I don't know, probably 7 and under, 7 to like 1.5 to 2. This is a great activity. If they're a little bit older, you want to customize the experience to meet the needs and the interests of the children that will be at your space. You can also, if you have like some sand or some sensory activities with toys, you can also incorporate Legos. So this is something that will keep their attention for a focused amount of time, and then you will have them kind of complete that experience. Now, one thing that you'll have to kind of be abreast of is when you sense the energy changing. So when you find that kids are getting a little bit bored or a little bit restless with the activity that they were doing, that's when you want to be prepared to introduce the next opportunity to create, or invitation to create. Another idea. So you want to totally shift gears from what was. So if you were doing Legos, the next activity does not need to include Legos, because again, they will become bored and then they're running around your house tearing things up. So the next activity, you want it to be a little bit different. So it could be something that involves drawing, sketching, paint markers, mini canvases, something that is like where they're going to be engaged. Maybe you have some like little sketchbooks or something where they can focus on drawing. The key to this too is to have a couple of different materials, but all in alignment with the same theme. So you can have markers, color pencils, pencils, paint markers, oil pastels. Like, you wouldn't necessarily want to introduce paint to this because it requires a different level of cleanup. So you want to be able to shift that other activity out and introduce this other one easily, or have a completely different table set up for this new activity, depending on the number of children that you are entertaining within your home. So once you find that they are engaged in this new activity, that frees up the adults to still be able to mingle and enjoy each other's time while the kids are also being entertained and occupied in a way that's still stimulating for them, but it's also constructive and a little bit like focused and organized. Now, another idea for an invitation to create that you can transition into from maybe Legos to drawing is, here, I wrote some notes down. Our coloring pages, you can incorporate that into the drawing one. So maybe you have a mixture of older kids and younger kids. You can do some drawing, sketching with different materials, and coloring pages of variety for kids. You can also introduce, and this could even be like another activity, something involving collage and stickers. There's this fun idea called sticker books, and I get this idea from one of my virtual mentors, Mary Cherry, and she has this idea of sticker books and this super inexpensive notebooks or small kind of like journals or whatever you want to call it, and the kids can make pages with stickers. They just decorate the pages with stickers. They can create their own stories with stickers. They can introduce collage into this. You can have just blank cards and cut up scrap sheets of paper, or they can draw and cut up paper to make collage pieces and create these like collage mixed media works of art. So that's another project that you can implement, going from Legos to coloring and sketching to stickers and collage. You just want to be able to stimulate like a different level of creativity and activity depending on the age and how long you have the kids. And again, you can mix and match. Like, you can maybe use one and not the other, or use all three. Now, another idea of a sensory rich activity that is minimal prep and cleanup is having like Play-Doh. So you can have Play-Doh, various colors, but then you want to incorporate in that, and with that, like beads, sticks, pipe cleaners, like where they could build their own structures with it. So it is like, even if they're switching activities, when you feel like the energy is shifting, it's enough of a difference and a change to excite a different level of creativity. So you have the mushiness, the sensory of the Play-Doh, where they can build and construct their own creatures. Then they can kind of stick things in the Play-Doh, create their own structures. And then you have the beading part of it, just buy like beads from the dollar store. Now, be mindful of the age of the kids and if it's appropriate for the age. But pipe cleaners and beads, they can poke in. And you can just do this by simply having little trays out of pipe cleaners, beads, Play-Doh. They pick their own color. You can give them individual plates or those styrofoam trays to work on. Like, really fun, engaging. Now, while all this is taking place, you're still having your music going that's kid-friendly. You're still having your scents and your aromatherapy, maybe some snacks present, parents mingling in and out. But these are ways that you can keep the children engaged, excited, and stimulated through your event, where you're still able to get your needs met as an adult and a parent. So the key is to not put everything out at once and expect the child to decide like what they want and to be engaged by it the whole time. You want to have a little bit of strategy and plan in place that you're going to introduce different activities at different times. And based on the age level of the children and the amount of time they're going to be at your house will determine the amount of different activities or invitations to create and play that you have available. If your house is big enough, the activities can even take place in different areas of the house. So you can think about. Maybe something's outside, maybe the next activity is inside or in a garage or a basement, just to keep the flow going and the excitement moving as well. The street cleaners are outside cleaning the streets, so that's what you hear. But hope this is super helpful. The goal for this video is to really help you maximize not only the time that your kids are having fun creating together with their friends and family, but create a stress-free time for you to enjoy time with your family and friends. All right, take care. Bye-bye.